Action TV, joined by manager Steve Cunningham after defeat at Guiseley. Gaffer, your thoughts on that one?
Obviously bitterly disappointed. Fair play to Mark and his team. They certainly were the best of two worst teams today. I thought they were poor. I thought we were even worse. It wasn't a good game for the neutral. I think I spent more time talking to my daughter at the sideline. I couldn't watch it. It was just a poor game. I can only apologise to our fans who have made a great effort to come. I'm disappointed in our team because with what we're going for this season, you think they'd have a bit more energy and a bit more enthusiasm and a bit more fight. Now the pitch doesn't look too bad, but honestly it was so lively for both teams. You could see
it's heavy.
Every time someone went to kick it, they were kicking it here, wide here, there and everywhere and out the bloody ground. But what you've got to do is you've then just got to roll your sleeves up and have a dogfight. I mean, that should have stayed 0-0 because, I mean, apart from the corner that they scored from, which it's bounced 3 times in our penalty box and then hit Jake Lawler in his private parts and gone in, I don't think there was anything in the game. It was a poor game, but that's no excuse for us because it was the same for them as well. So it should have been a 0-0. It was just a really poor game, and you could see that both teams were cagey. We're both up there. No team wants to lose, but we've been the worst of the two teams today. That's a fact.
It seemed like that guys they just capitalised on that almost lapse in concentration because it was just after the enforced change was made with Sam Baird coming off injured, Dan Cameron coming on, that the goal came.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough for us because Bairdy, I thought, was outstanding for the first 15-20 minutes. He was winning everything, wasn't he? And he's a big blow. You lose, I think he's the best centre-half in the league, especially based on age and stuff like that. So that's no disrespect to Newton or Dan Cowan because they've been excellent for me. But Sam Baird's the best centre-half in the league. So when he comes out of the team and then it's a set piece that comes in, they still have to man up and defend it. And it was just really poor. It was poor. It's a really poor goal to concede, but you've got plenty of time in the game to come back from that, and we just didn't. We were lacklustre, disappointing in that one. But listen, it happens. We've had a bit of a deep dive in there. I think we're still 8 points clear of the team fighting to get into the playoff spots. We're sitting 4th in the league, is it, or 3rd? Fourth. But we've got a game in hand over Stockton. Listen, we're still in a good place. But what we don't want to do is paper over cracks because it was a good point against Hyde because we scored late on. But then we gave a 2-goal lead away against Matlock. So in the last 3 games, we haven't been at the races, and we certainly don't want to be fighting and scrapping to get in them playoffs when we've been in there all season. So yeah, a lot of deep dive talks in the changing room. We've got players that need to be accountable for the performances today, if not all of them, except for Dan Cowan. I thought Dan Cowan was excellent when he came on. He's been sat on the bench for God knows how many weeks. He's been thrown on at left back in our hour of need, and he's come on and done really well. But as a whole, and the management staff as well, we'll take accountability. We've got players injured at the minute. We've got to manage them as well, and that's why people see certain names on the bench. But you've got to manage them as well. But we might have got it wrong a little bit. But the shape, I don't think it affected the game. I don't think the team selection affected the game. I just think we were poor today all round, and unfortunately, of the two teams, we were worse. Both teams are better than that, but they've obviously been in a bit of bad form for them, so that's a great win for them because that'll then obviously pick them up. But we just dust ourselves down. I'm certainly not going to let it spoil my weekend. I've done that before many a time. But look, we've got a week of training. We'll patch up. We're going to look to bring a couple in just to freshen us up a little bit because we are on our last legs at the minute with a few of the players. And we're positive. We're going to get together now as a group. We're just going to go and do something a little bit different, and then we'll bounce back. And obviously we've got a tough game next week, haven't we? So.
Well, you mentioned next week and a full week of rest before Hebburn next Saturday, another long away trip. Start of the season, we're unbeatable on the road, and the last few weeks it just seems to have tailed off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you look at some of the key players we've been missing, though, and it does affect you, and it affects all teams. We're not a team that can just go and sign anybody we want. That's obvious to a lot of teams as well, and I know some teams have the capability of doing that, but we can't go and sign National League players that live in London or Scotland or Spain or wherever. We are very much, you've got what you've got, and then you're doing deals with a club like Stoke City for £100 for a young kid that's going to be coming in. That's our market, that's where we are. But when you get to the 40-game mark in a season with league games and cup games and things like that, and friendlies played early doors, you're going to have niggles, and we're missing key players. You look at Alburn not being able to start. You could see he wasn't at the races when he came on. He's still hampered by his injury. You look at Callum Rowe, what a miss he's been. Sam Baird's gone off. These are key players for us, and it hurts you. There's no doubt about that. But it's not an excuse. We were poor today. We were poor. But you've just got to sometimes go, right, let's just dust ourselves down. Let's not let it ruin our weekends. We'll bounce back. We've got 9 games of football to play. We've still got an 8-point gap over Ilkeston and more, I think 11 over Rylands, or they've both drawn today. We're still in the playoff race. But we've got to improve if we want to finish in the second and third positions, because we really want that home advantage. Normally we're good on the road. Today just wasn't our day.